Have you ever just stopped and wondered, what actually makes you, well, you? Today, we're diving deep into that very question. We're going to explore the fundamental building blocks of who we are, and we'll break it all down with a really straightforward framework, the 4 pillars of human development. So let's just take a second and really think about that question. What makes you the person you are in this very moment? Is it your body, your thoughts, your feelings, the people you know? It's a tricky question, right? Because the real answer is, it's all of it. Right, because who we are isn't some fixed thing. It's more like a movie than a photograph. It's this constant, lifelong process of growing and changing. I mean, the person you were just last year is probably different from who you are today. From day one, we're all just a work in progress. Okay, that might sound super complicated, but here's the good news. There's a way to make sense of the whole thing. We can wrap our heads around this entire process by looking at 4 essential connected pillars. Think of them like the foundation of a building, the building that is you. So let's build this thing together, one pillar at a time. All right, let's kick things off with the pillar we can all literally see and touch. This is the physical foundation for everything else that follows. Let's talk about the body. So what do we mean by physical development? Well, it's pretty much all the biological and physiological stuff that happens as we grow up. This covers the obvious things, like getting taller and stronger, but it's also about the incredible, invisible changes, like how our brain is constantly wiring and rewiring itself. We've all been through this, right? It's kind of an amazing journey when you think about it. You go from a baby learning to crawl to a toddler taking those first shaky steps. And then, bam, you've got the huge changes that come with puberty. Every single one of these is a major milestone in building up that physical pillar. So now that we've got our physical foundation set, let's move on to the second pillar. This is kind of like the control center for, well, everything. We're talking about the mind. Cognitive development, that's a fancy term for how our mental processes grow. And this isn't just about the facts we memorize. It's about how we think, how we reason, and how we make sense of the world around us. You could almost say it's the software that's running on our physical hardware. And what's so cool is how these skills are like building blocks. They literally stack on top of each other. Think about it. Once you start acquiring language, you can solve way more complex problems. A better memory helps you make smarter decisions. It's like this pillar is getting a constant software update. Okay, from the mind, let's get into our inner world. Time for our third pillar, the heart. And this is all about our emotions. Emotional development is really our journey to becoming the master of our own feelings. I mean, it's one thing to feel an emotion, right? But it's a completely different skill to be able to understand it, express it without causing chaos, and manage how intense it gets. That's the core of what this pillar is all about. And we can trace this pillar back to 3 key roots. It all starts with attachment. Those super important early bonds we form that make us feel safe in the world. Then you've got our temperament, which is basically our natural built-in way of reacting to stuff. And those 2 things together help shape our personality, creating the emotional habits we carry with us. And finally, we all know that no person is an island. So our 4th and final pillar is built on our relationships with everybody else, the connections. So social development is basically how we learn the rules of the game for being a human. It's the whole process of figuring out how to connect with other people, build real relationships, and navigate all the unwritten rules of our culture. This starts out so simply, doesn't it? Like learning to share a toy when you're a little kid, but it gets more and more complex, evolving into forming deep friendships, finding our place in different groups, and understanding that whole web of social expectations that guide us as adults. Okay, so we've built our 4 pillars: body, mind, heart, and connections. But here's the absolute most important part. They don't just stand there next to each other. They're all interlocked, creating one complete person. And this cable just lays it all out so clearly. You've got the physical pillar, all about our body. The cognitive pillar is our thinking. The emotional pillar covers our feelings, and the social pillar is all about relationships. When you see it like this, you really get how every single piece of our development has its place. And this right here, this brings us to the biggest takeaway of all. None of these pillars exist in its own little bubble. They are constantly talking to each other, influencing one another in this dynamic loop. A change in just one of them can send ripples through all the others. Let's run through a super quick, real-world example. Just imagine a physical change, like, say, a teenager has a sudden growth spurt over the summer.
Okay, so boom, that physical change immediately hits their thoughts, right? They start thinking differently about their own body. Maybe they feel a little awkward, or maybe they feel a lot more confident. That's a cognitive shift. Pillar number 2 in action. And of course, those new thoughts start to shape their emotions. Feeling awkward can lead to anxiety, while feeling confident might lead to excitement. And there's the emotional pillar. Pillar 3, reacting to the change.
And finally, those new feelings are absolutely going to change how they connect with other people. Maybe they become a bit more withdrawn, or maybe they become more outgoing, which affects their friendships. And that's the social pillar. See? It's all one big chain reaction. So there you have it, the 4 pillars of human development. They are the foundation of who we were, who we are right now, and who we're still becoming, which really just leaves one final question for you. Every single day, your actions, your thoughts, your feelings, your interactions, they're all strengthening these pillars. So, which pillar are you building today?